It's high time for France to leave us alone. It's time for France to take a cue from its European neighbors and learn a valuable lesson in independence.
This is what we want to see. Now let us listen to the speech from Dr. ARIKANA CHIHOMBORI.
We are now dealing with an African electorate that understands what is really going on in Africa. Well, I like to think, if I were to use the biblical terms, this is a revelation among Black people. They're waking up and realizing that what has been happening is wrong, and change must come. And for true change to come, it must be brought by the people. In the past, Africans have been misinformed, misled, and given false information, and being thrown a shiny object and being told only the African heads of states are the problem. But now they understand the invisible hand and the role that the invisible hand is playing to make sure that Africa remains where they want Africa to be. The African heads of states, particularly those heads of states of the former French colonies, majority of them were just puppets put in place to continue the same French legacy, which basically boxed them in, where it said you have no control of your military, you have no control of your natural resources, you have no control of your finances, and if you continue from those three areas, you are free to rule your country any which way you want. What power does that president have? Come on now. Our people didn't understand all this. So we can change African heads of states in those former French colonies like we change clothes. If those fundamentals are not addressed, nothing is going to change. The real problem, like I've always said, the biggest risk to peace and security in Africa is France. Let's make no mistake about that. We have other former colonizers. Yes, they still have a stronghold in Africa through their multinational companies that continue to siphon billions out of Africa every year. We are aware of that. But the biggest problem when it comes to former French colonies is France. Its roots are so entrenched in those countries, and now France is trying to expand into other nations. Until we address those agreements African countries were forced to sign, nothing, and I mean nothing we do, is going to bring us the true economic liberation, which is what Africa needs, which is what Africa was denied when African countries were being given their independence. We are now dealing with an African electorate that understands what is really going on in Africa.
I fully agree with the speech from Dr. ARIKANA CHIHOMBORI on what's going on in West Africa. And at the beginning, you heard Osman Sonko once said the time for French to leave the country is now. And after you heard the speech from Dr. ARIKANA CHIHOMBORI, she elaborated it in more details. So sometimes, many years ago and still now, we are some of Africans, we are lamenting our leaders. Sometimes we say the system is not working well and it's not beneficial to the Africans, but to the Westerners or to the former colonies. So now we know the problem. The problem is the leader we select, as she said, Dr. ARIKANA CHIHOMBORI, the leader we select, that's where we make a mistake. So many leaders in Africa are the puppets of former colonies. So they are in the position to help or to support what their masters saying and to make the interest of their masters to fulfill, but not the interest of Africa. Sometimes I ask myself that if these loans can solve our problem or can help us to move from this stage to that stage as Africans, when did we start borrowing this money? So many years ago, but we still stepping 3 steps forward, 5 steps backward, and we still increasing our debt in the IMF. So brothers and sisters, the real or the issue is our leaders. Once we stay and select the leaders who knows what to do or who knows how to change this system, is only thing that we can make better decision. I heard some in recent days, I heard the speech from our father Joshua Ponga say that you can change the driver more than you want, but the problem is the truck. In many years, Africans we're still changing the leader, or this leader can help us to shift from where this leader can do this and this, but once you put the leader there that you want, he will find the same system that the outgoing leader was working on. So the problem is we are not selecting the rightful people. Once we select the rightful people, and I'm happy to see that there in West Africa we have this newly formed bloc Sahel region. We see these three brothers doing great job, and now in this week, last week, we get another young leader there in Senegal. So we see how these leaders are changing the system. So the leader of these 4 countries in West Africa are the rightful people to the citizen, because they know what system was working. So now they change it to be in benefit of their citizens. So I hope this not happen only in West Africa, but I need it, or I hope, to all African countries, and end of the day Africa will be united. So in this situation, on what going on in Africa, may remind other African leaders what's going on in world. I know they know it, but they're in position for the benefits of their masters, as I said before. So brothers and sisters, this is what I want to share with you. Please, if you have anything, let us know in the comment section. All this is to make a awakening message. This is a awakening message to all Africans in the continent and those who are in diaspora. The time for changes is now, and we have been talking too much, and we see West Africa start the revolution for their party. So we need all this to happen in all Africa continent. Please, if you have anything on this speech or on this video, let us know on the comment section. Thanks for watching.